We're diving into the frustrating Mockito cannot mock this class error. This often happens when you try to use Mockito to create a mock object for a class that Mockito simply can't handle. Let's break down the common causes and how to fix them. 1. Final classes and methods. Mockito can't mock final classes or methods. Java's final keyword prevents modification, and mocking inherently involves altering class behavior. If you encounter this, your options are refactoring the code to remove the final keyword, if feasible and doesn't violate design principles, creating a spy object instead of a full mock using mockito.spy, or, if it's a library class you don't control, finding an alternative approach like using a test double, a simpler hand-coded class that mimics the behavior you need. 2. Classes with no constructor. If the class you're attempting to mock doesn't have a public constructor, or a constructor Mockito can access, it can't create a mock instance. Check for private constructors or missing default constructors. The solution here usually involves either making a constructor accessible or adopting an alternative testing strategy, such as using a spy object or a simpler test double. 3. Interfaces versus concrete classes. Mockito shines when mocking interfaces. Mocking concrete classes is possible but less straightforward, and you might encounter more limitations. Whenever feasible, favor using interfaces in your code. This makes mocking easier and promotes better design practices. 4. Static methods and classes. Mockito cannot mock static members. Static methods belong to the class itself, not instances. If you're interacting with a static method in your unit test, consider refactoring your code to avoid direct dependency on the static method if possible. You might extract the logic into a non-static method, or employ dependency injection to pass in a mock object representing the dependency instead of directly calling the static method. 5. Mockito's limitations. Some classes, especially those that rely heavily on final classes, or those that utilize advanced techniques, like bytecode manipulation, may simply not be mockable with Mockito. In such cases, you might need to explore other mocking frameworks or adopt alternative testing methods, such as integration testing, to assess the functionality. Remember to always check Mockito's documentation and your class definition to understand the root cause of the error. Careful code design, employing interfaces where possible, and a pragmatic approach toward testing are key to avoiding this issue. If all else fails, investigate whether you really need to mock that specific class or if an alternative, mockable component can fulfill the testing